Morning class 6. In the previous class we have studied about the how can we test the presence of carbohydrate in our food and test for fat in our food. Today we are going to learn how can we test for the protein present in our food. So let's begin with our topic. The presence of protein in a food material is tested on the basis of the fact that protein gives a violet color with an alkaline solution of copper sulfate. Before I explain this sentence, I want to explain you what is meant by alkaline. Alkaline is a basic solid solution that dissolves in water. There are three category. First is acid, base and neutral that you will study in further lesson probably about acid, base and neutral solutions. So when and protein give a violet color when they mix with the alkaline solution means copper sulfate dissolved in water, that solution is ready. Alkaline solution of copper sulfate is ready. When copper sulfate is dissolved in water, we can say that this is that alkaline solution of copper sulfate. So in simple you can say when we add copper sulfate solution on protein food, it gives us violet color. Two solutions are needed for testing protein. Two solutions we need for test protein in the food. What they are? Copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. Copper sulfate solution and sodium hydroxide solution. Copper sulfate solution is made alkali by mixing sodium hydroxide solution, and copper sulfate we have to make it alkali. What we do, we mix some amount of sodium hydroxide in it. Please note that sodium hydroxide solution is also known as caustic soda. Sometimes you have seen that when your mother cooks food like chola, batura, they use caustic soda to put in it. Understood? So that is only that sodium hydroxide solution. In order to test protein, the food should be in a liquid form or in the form of suspension. Means if we have to test the food that it contain the protein, the food should be in liquid form or in the form of suspension. It means if you have to test the protein of the given food item, it must be in liquid or in the suspension. Suspension means a solid substance, in which suspension solution means a substance of solid that settle down at the bottom of the liquid is known as suspension. Understood? The solid substance that settle down at the bottom of the liquid is known as suspension solution. So if the food to be tested in the solid form, we should first prepare its suspension. If the food is given in the solid form, what you have to do? You have to make it suspension solution. Take a small quantity of solid food and mash it with the pestle and mortar. Pestle and mortar, if you don't know the meaning of pestle and mortar, means ukhli. So what we have to do, we take that solid food and mash it properly in the pestle mortar. Put that mashed solid food in a test tube and put that, when you have mashed that solid food, put them in a test tube. I want to show you the diagram of test tube. This is the diagram of test tube that you can see in your school lab also. This is the diagram of test tube. Understood? So what we have to do, we have to put that mashed food in the test tube and add little amount of water to make it suspension. What we have to do, we have to put the mashed solid food in the test tube and add little amount of water to make it suspension solution. This suspension of the food can be can then be used for the testing of protein. Then we can use that suspension for the testing of protein. Now see what step we have to follow. The presence of protein in a given foodstuff can be tested as follow. Now we have to just learn what the step we should to do for test of the protein. Take 2 ml of the given foodstuff solution in a test tube. You have to take another test tube in which you put only 2 ml of the foodstuff solution, means suspension solution that you have made by mashing it. Add a little of dilute sodium. Dilute means when we add amount of water in any solution that became dilute. Understood? When we add any little amount of water to, then it's became dilute solution. So add little dilute sodium hydroxide solution till the mixture clears. So we have to add a little amount of dilute sodium hydroxide in the test tube till the mixture clears. Then add 2-3 drop of copper sulfate solution, and after that, when mixture became clear, you have to add 2 to 3 drop of copper sulfate solution and shake the test tube well. If a violet colors appear in the solution, then protein is present in your given foodstuff. If that solution appears in the violet color, it means your given food item contain the protein. If it's not appear violet in color, then your foodstuff does not contain any amount of protein. If however, the solution remains blue, which is the color of copper sulfate solution, then protein is not present. And I want to tell you that copper sulfate color is blue. If does not change in violet color, it means the copper sulfate solution does not reacted with it and protein is not present. If it's changed in violet color, then it's clear that it contains protein in it. Milk is an common food item that you can use for the test of protein. Is it present there or not? Here are activities given. How can you test the milk that it contains protein or not? Let's have a look on it. What you have to do? Take 2 ml of milk in a test tube. Take 2 ml of milk in a test tube. Add a little dilute sodium hydroxide solution. Then add 2 to 3 drop of copper sulfate solution in that test tube. Shake the test tube. A violet color appear in the solution. What happened? Milk contains protein. That's why violet copper sulfate that is of blue color changes into violet color. That means that given milk contains the protein in it. Understood? How can we test the presence of protein in our food? Now our next topic is balanced diet. As we all know, to keep our bodies healthy, we must take balanced diet. Means we should not take excess amount of carbohydrates, protein or vitamins and minerals. Our body don't need enough. They need actual amount of vitamins, protein means which they utilize to provide us energy. So that is known as balanced diet. Now let's have a look on balanced diet. The food which we eating during the whole day is called our diet. जो भी खाना हम per day daily अपने diet में लेते हैं, that is known as our diet. Whether they are fruits, vegetables, rice, chapati, these all are our diet. Now see, our diet consists of many food items made from cereal grains like pulses, wheat, rice, pulses, and fruits, vegetable, meat, fish, egg, and milk, etc., which supply all nutrients to our body. And all these things are supply nutrient to our body. The diet which contain adequate amount of all the nutrient. Again I am repeating, listen it carefully. The diet which contain adequate amount, means proper amount of all the nutrients such as carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, is called balanced diet. Means a diet that we are taking in which a proper amount of nutrient present in it, means proper amount of carbohydrate, proper amount of fat, protein, vitamins and minerals. That diet is known as balanced diet. A balanced diet also contains sufficient amount of water, and balanced diet also include that amount of water in our food, and roughage also. In the previous chapter we have studied about the roughage and water importance in our body. So in balanced diet all these are should be included, our food also, water also and roughage also. This is all about the balanced diet. We will continue from the next para, page number 22, in the next class, class 6. Have a nice day. Please do a good fair revision. Bye bye.